Welcome back, or welcome if it's your first time here. My name is Claire from Claire's Curves, and today we're doing a bit of a different video because I have I have my husband Stephen with me again today. The last time he made maltese bread, a lot of you tried it and a lot of you sent me messages that you liked it. So today he's going to be making
l-Appostli.
Yes, he's making l-Appostli for us, which is a type of bread which is made during Easter time in Malta.
It's essentially just a bread in the form of a ring.
Well, not exactly, it doesn't taste exactly like bread.
It's not, there's some slight differences.
Exactly. And in baking, it's the slight differences which make everything happen, right? That's why I'm not a good baker. I don't have Stephen's patience. Now Stephen is making the actual l-Appostli because at the supermarket sometimes you buy big puffy ones which taste more like Maltese panini and are soft. But this is the proper,
old style.
Yeah, the old style l-Appostli which you'll be getting today. So let's get started, right?
Let's. Alright, so I've just laid out the ingredients before and measured them so that we don't waste a lot of time, but essentially what you will need is bread flour. I use type O flour, about 750 grams. You have 75 grams of Semolina flour, 60 grams of sugar, but 60 milliliters of sunflower oil, because olive oil tastes a little bit too strong with this. And you'll need about 20 grams of yeast, dry yeast, or you can use a couple of packets of the ready-made ones. 12 grams of salt, and of course you need 450 milliliters of tepid water. I have a machine that normally calculates the temperature of it, but you can feel it by hand. Normally it's about between 35 and 40 degrees is optimal to activate the yeast. Then for later we will need a few roasted almonds, and we normally use about 24 almonds for 2 bread rings, and we'll need some sesame seeds as well for decoration.
Did you mention the flour?
I did, it was the first thing I mentioned. You need to pay attention. So I will be using the machine to help me for this. You can by all means use your hands and mix everything together, but what we'll do is basically we'll mix the dry ingredients together first. So we'll put the semolina with the rest of the flour. The yeast we will mix together with the tepid water first. You don't need to wait to activate it, but just give it a quick mix, just to make sure that it's incorporated well with the water. But it will be the more incorporated. After that, you need to give it a good whisk. So this is where you get some training for your wrists, I guess.
You want me to do it while you do the rest?
That's fine, that's enough.
The first thing I did, I dropped, I'm sorry.
So let's put the salt as well, and you can also put the sugar. Some people use the sugar before with the water just to see that the yeast is alive and active. I know this is good yeast because I've used it quite recently. So I'll just go ahead and mix it with the rest of the dry ingredients.
Is this enough or does it have to be completely like all the powder?
Fine, just leave it to rest a little
Okay.
bit.
And do I remove the fork or doesn't
Yes.
it? Doesn't? Okay.
So I'm just gonna get and mix this a little bit with a fork. You can by all means do this by hand, probably even better. And again, I mean, you don't need to do this, but it helps with incorporating everything beforehand. Okay. So as I said, there's no need to wait for this for 10 minutes to see if it starts bubbling. if you have time and you just want to see it bubbling, just add the sugar with it and mix it together, because the yeast needs to eat something to be alive. But we're just going to go ahead and mix everything in the mixer. So what I'm using this mixer, it's basically a kitchen robot that has multiple functionalities. If you don't have one, or you have the stand mixer, but I mean that's even better, just with the stand mixer with the dough hook essentially, or you can mix it with your hands. So what I'm gonna do is I've mixed the water and the yeast, and I'm just gonna drop it in here.
The kids would say ASMR.
What does that mean?
I think it means that they like the sound it makes. I'm not sure.
Okay, hopefully it's nothing.
No, I don't think it's anything bad.
We're gonna add the oil, sunflower oil, and then we're just going to go ahead and add the flour.
You see, if this were me, I would put it all at once and I would get a big cloud of flour. I'm just not good at this stuff.
So, give it a little shake, and we're going to mix it. If you have the stand mixer, just leave it going for about 10 minutes. I'm gonna put it on Knead here. And if you see from here, you can see it's starting to incorporate. And just let it do its job basically.
Shake it, shake it.
So, the dough is ready. If you're using a stand mixer, it will probably be even better than this. But what we're going to do now is we're going to round it up into a ball, essentially. And what you want to do is tuck your fingers underneath and stretch out the outside as well, just to help the air go in. And essentially, the stickier it is and the wetter it is, the better. So to help it grow and be fluffier later, we're going to use some olive oil as well. Just a bit. And make sure that it doesn't stick with whatever container you're going to use to let it rise in. You can actually wet your hands with it, drop it in, another little bit.
Drizzle, a drizzle of olive oil.
Thank you, Miss England teacher.
That's an inside joke, they're not gonna know.
Sure, that's why they use it as well.
Really?
Our England is very good instead of English. So essentially, it's quite wet. It will help hydrate the dough, so it will be hopefully nice and fluffy later. What we are going to do is we're just going to cover this with a little bit of cling film and let it rest in a dry place for about an hour or two, depending on the weather as well. So what you're looking for is for it to double in size more. So we'll just cover it up with some stretch and see, and we just let it rise for an hour or two until it doubles inside. So what we need to do is just leave it in a dry place and let it go to sleep. So I guess 1 hour was enough because it more than doubled in size.
Ooh, that's fun.
Worthy of clear scarves all around, curvy, just like how I like it. So what we're gonna do, since this is enough dough to make 2 bread rings, we're gonna cut it in half and we're gonna put them to rest for another hour or so in different bowls. So just
Jiggle, jiggle.
pull it from the side a little bit.
Looks really nice. Ooh, fancy.
There you go. Just maybe knock it down a little bit. And I guess you can wait to make sure it's exactly the same size if you're obsessed with it. Or otherwise just eyeball it and kind of half and half, more or less. Should be enough. And again, just make a little nice round ball, tuck it from the inside, come underneath, and the same with the other one. They're not going to be exactly the same. It looks like another piece. More. A little bit of olive oil again. So it doesn't stick too much. Just drop it in, and another drizzle of olive oil. I like doing this with my hand. And that's it. Just let it rest for another hour. Cover it up again. We get another bit of stretch and seal for the other one as well. And we repeat the process for an hour. So they've been rising for another hour. As you can see, they're very, very big. Can you see? They look very wet as well, so that should make for good bread. Now this is a very tricky part. I need to take them out, and we need to open it up.
And can you put flour on the...
You can, but the sesame seeds will not stick. So essentially, you shouldn't put any flour. Okay. So this is why it might be a little bit tricky.
It looks nice, and it has a lot of like the bubbles there.
I mean, we need to stretch it out a little bit. And don't worry, it might tear at some point.
But will it still be good, kind of?
But it will still be good because we need to roll it anyway. But it's not. Doesn't look like it's tearing, so.
Seems like it has good elasticity, touch wood.
Alright, so now this is the part where it might stick a little bit.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm looking at it like scary.
So now we roll it. And we'll see. So if you look at it from here, you'll see.
Ooh! It's like a flower. Some girls get bouquets, some girl gets l-Appostli. And I get both.
Now what we need to do is essentially, might be a little bit too thin.
That's what I'm thinking. It looks very thin. Maybe
unlike me.
or me.
But we need to let it rest a little bit more as well.
I mean, the flavor is all that counts, really. Not, I don't think it's the...
So, we'll put some sesame seeds on the counter, and this is why you don't put a lot of flour, because otherwise they don't really stick.
I was surprised it didn't stick to the table, even though it was very thin.
This is because we put a lot of oil, I think.
But that's a good thing, right?
It helps, yes. It helps with also with the moisture. So we're aiming for a crispy, crunchy bite on the outside and fluffiness on the inside, essentially.
I know you love sesame seeds, but I think you have enough.
Alright, so now we're gonna use some parchment paper.
I cannot see it.
And we will transfer this on the parchment paper, essentially. And we'll make sure to incorporate the sides together.
And this was a hit, eh? The kids absolutely loved it. I think Anna ate her weight in l-Appostli last time he made them.
So this will be a little bit thinner than the one you find, the fluffy one you find in the shop. So this, and we'll just put them on the baking tray to rest. We'll expand it a little bit.
Can you show it? Pretty. So do you put the almonds just before you put it in the oven, or do you put them on now?
No, we can put them in the...
Did you forget?
Sure. So
Let me feel helpful.
let's push them in.
How many did I wait? You're supposed to put 12, but
Yes.
my spacing is really bad, so I don't think that helped.
It's not going to.
Can I put another one here? Maybe another one there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Just one there and one there. And we have the 12 apostles. Yay!
And then you can do some cuts in between as well, just to help it rise.
I don't usually help Stephen around when he's baking because usually he has a system and I go in and I kind of say, what? System? Let's wing it.
Anyway. And we'll essentially do the same with the other one. We'll have to leave them about 20-30 minutes before they go in the oven. And we're preheating the oven right now. Normally you should bake it at 230 degrees for 25 minutes. If you like it a little bit more golden, you can go with 200 as well. It depends on your taste.
I don't really like when it's brown. I like it more kind of a beige golden color. So Stephen does one at 200 for me.
We let it rest for another 20 minutes or so. We're going to put it in the oven at 200 degrees for 25 minutes. What we're going to do to make sure it doesn't break and it stays moist inside, we're going to add a little bit of boiling water in the bottom tray as well, just to create some steam. They're out of the oven. This one has cooled off already, and this one just came out right now. I don't know if you can hear it, but probably not from there. But it's basically golden. We did 200 degrees. If you want it darker, I suggest you go at 230 degrees.
It's so pretty.
It depends how you like your bread, I guess. So let's just cut this one, because it cooled off already.
The other one came out a bit prettier. Let's say that.
This one we left it to rise a little bit longer. That's why as well. So, let's see.
Yay! Oh, nice.
can see the swirls from there.
I think let me zoom in. Zooming in. Yes.
So let's just cut it from the middle. And this is great if you just put some butter on it and eat it like this.
Holy!
Anyway, it's fluffy on the inside, it is crunchy on the outside. So, would you like to take a bite?
Yes. Put some butter. It's
Let's
over
put
there.
I lost my butter knife.
No, I'm just excited to try it.
It was still warm. Apparently, typically they take broad beans with it.
With this?
Broad beans. Full.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
My family, they always just have it with butter.
Yes, I mean, depends. Because it's in season, I guess.
Let's see. Which side? Okay, I'm gonna go for this side. I have a hair. Can you
Let's
remove
see
it?
if
I have a hair on my lipstick. Here.
There you go.
Thank you. Yes.
Let's see if it passes the clear test. Well, certainly crunches.
Even better than last time.
So, thumbs up or down? Hey, come back. The red lipstick on. Anyway, I guess we're gonna leave you now because Claire cannot speak anymore.
That's why it feeds me so much, so I can get some peace and quiet at least. Thank you for watching, guys. Do try it out. It's really good. And high five. Good job. Worth the time it takes to make it. And definitely tasty. See you for my next video, guys. I have a few planned for next month, so please stay tuned, like and subscribe. Check out the rest of my channel.
Bye.